what's up you guys, this is Rob from The Guy Plays, and today on the Quick Draw we've got our hands on a couple of new Loca's vibrating little playthings, when we take a look at the Sancti Castana. Now you all know I'm a sucker for weapons with unique mechanics, so when it came to the classic Castanas, I was instantly a fan. If you've never used the original before, it's definitely one of the more unique secondaries, featuring remotely detonated sticky traps. Think of this as the throwing version of the Penta, with a couple of twists. Now, new Loca's managed to get their hands on the tech, and in addition to the new vibration function, has added a few of their own. So the question is, will the upgrade to this weapon bring it back into the field, or will we keep it tucked away neatly with a big box of batteries in our bedside drawer? So you can pick up the Sancti Castana for 100,000 standing, but only after you've reached rank 5 with new Loca. However, as with all Syndicate mods and weapons, you can always take a shot at acquiring them through trade chat. Now the Sancti Castana's primary damage type is electric. On its own, it's pretty baseline, only suffering resistances against alloy armor. However, it combines well with other elements, creating some of the more desirable elemental combos, like corrosive, radiation, and magnetic. So pay attention to what you add on, and ensure that you're using the appropriate elements in order to deal optimal damage. Okay, so straight off the bat, this is an improvement to a weapon I already enjoy. Its base damage got a 15-point boost, which aside from the Cyanoid Gamma Core is the biggest base damage bump of all of the Syndicate weapons. With Hornet Strike and the full suite of multi-shot mods equipped, the Castanas come in at 896 points of damage, while New Loca's version sits at 1030, and with the addition of elemental mods, the damage gap only continues to widen. In addition, it also got a 5% boost to status chance and crit chance, making this one of the more solid upgrades of the bunch. Now, beyond that, there haven't really been any changes to the mechanics, which isn't necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. In addition to its base status chance, it still deals a guaranteed electricity proc, which has the potential to stun and jump to additional targets. It still deals damage to an unlimited amount of targets in a small area of effect, which can also do damage to you. It still has a max deployed trap allowance of 6, which does factor in your multi-shot, and I think the biggest thing that people are gonna moan and groan about is the ammo capacity and magazine size is quite low, and it draws from the sniper ammo pool. On top of that, this is a thrown weapon, meaning that your projectiles have a slight arc in their flight path, and due to the fact that it's a remotely detonated weapon, you'll be unable to zoom after you've deployed your first trap, since your zoom in function turns into a trigger for detonation. So while its mechanics are a bit of a mixed bag, the Sancti Castana also innately inherit the purity effect. After a weapon with purity gains 2000 affinity, it will deal 1000 points of corrosive damage in a 25-meter radius around you. It'll also restore 25% of your health and add a bonus 25% of your base health on top of your current max. Now, I'm assuming that this is intended as it has yet to be patched, but if you're downed in a group mission and purity triggers, it will act like a second wind and revive you. Note that this only works if you're downed and not if you're dead. Also, after purity triggers, it does have a 10-second downtime before it can start gaining affinity again. Now, speaking of things that can get you up, can we talk? Okay, so I was gonna try and overlook the obvious joke, but the fact is sometimes I think DE is intentionally trying to make my brain explode. I mean, come on, it's a handheld electrical device that vibrates like a chihuahua in a snowstorm. Think of all of the other possible graphical effects they could have stacked on it. Pulsing with energy, maybe a different particle effect, but no, they had to go for dildo vibration. The only thing they're missing is the suction cup and the rotating tip. However, I do think it is slightly brilliant, as New Loca needs to team up with the parent sequence to mass produce a non-lethal version of this shit for home use. Come on, let's face it, maybe the Grenier Queens wouldn't be such bitches if they got some occasionally, and I'm pretty damn sure the new Mutalist Alid V ain't getting any kind of love. So box this shit up and send it his way, because I don't think they'll be installing any free clinics on the relays anytime soon. Now, crazy tangents aside, let's get back to the quick draw. So all in all, the Sancti Castanas are quite good, especially if you can get past their mechanical quirks. The boost in base damage is quite nice once it's all modded up, and supplements its electric procs quite nicely. When used in conjunction with a control frame like Vauban, or ones with abilities that can group up enemies like Loki's Radial Disarm, the Sancti Castanas will be absolutely devastating. Now unfortunately DE is trying to make D polarities a thing, because they slapped an innate one on this set. However, the only D slot that I really care about is my own, so I'll most likely be modding this one out. That aside, I'm giving the Sancti Castanas my seal of approval. Just be cautious, as regardless of whether you're in the field or have them with you for personal use, you may want to be very careful when you hit the trigger. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. If you're curious, I'll toss up a link to the classic Castanas, as well as the Parasist's Quick Draw. Now, don't forget to do the thing that I asked you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for more good vibrations here at A Gay Guy Plays. Okay, so this end bit was supposed to be dedicated to Nova becoming the next Prime, but look at this! Isn't it freaky? It looks like you can see right into her boob! Ooh.